Hello, my name is Zaira. I'm student physical therapy assistant at CBD College. So today I'm going to discuss the ethical issue and student case number 3. So the summary of this case, there's a student who named Andrew, which is in his final year as a student physical therapy, nearing completion of his clinical rotation at the large hospital, which the hospital is HHH. He was offered a job upon successful graduation. Upon successful graduation, completion of his application, and passing the NPTE, which is the National Physical Therapy Examination, Andrew was invited to join in a study group which is sponsored by the hospital. And if he participated in the session, the hospital will cover all the costs. Andrew find out that the hospital uses the study group that shares questions from students who previously took the NPTE, which is the hospital compiling all the question or putting all together to help the future test taker to be prepared for the exam. This ethical concern for Andrew, as he becomes aware the sharing question from the NPTE is strictly illegal by FSBPT, which is Federation of State Board of Physical Therapy. So Andre initially considering withdrawing from the study group if he continues to struggle with ethical dilemma of being involved in possible unethical behavior by continuing with the group or accepting the job under this situation. Okay, so the primary realm involved in this situation for me is organizational practices, because is it primarily related to the hospital policy and practices that may be considered professional standards. So the hospital is facilitating a study group where the students share NPTE question, which is directly violates the rules set by FSBPT. The second one it's intuitional influence. So Andrew is offered a job at the hospital. So in the intuitional influence is the clinical rotation and passing the MPTE. The hospital offers financial support for his exam, ask him to take it, but also ask him to use possibly unethical practices to prepare for NPTE. So the hospital action placed Andrew in difficult position, forcing him to decide whether to work with established practices or approve his ethical standards. Okay, number 3, using moral principles and rules. So for me, it's integrity, because integrity goes repairs by honesty, truthfulness, and regularity of action and compliance with ethical standard. So the complete in this situation that the hospital practice collecting all the question and sharing all the question from the NPTE with the student violates the principle of integrity. So by participating in this study group like Andrew, he will be engaging in the process that the integrity of the NPTE. So by FSBPT, Federation of State of Physical Therapy, clearly makes illegal sharing of NPTE question to maintain the examination fairness and make sure that it accurately measures the ability of the PT candidates. So if it's Andrew where to go along with this practice, he will be cooperating in action directly conflicts with the moral principle of integrity. So number 4, determine if there's is a legal implication present in this case. So for me, it's yes, because the hospital practice of sharing NPTE question who violates the FSBPT's rules on exam security, which is strictly illegal to share any exam content or any exam question. It's breaking the rules can lead to legal result. So example like invalidating test result, disciplinary action by licensing board, and legal penalties for the hospital. Number 5, using standards of ethical conduct for the PTA, determine which standard. So the standard that I choose is standard number 3, which is physical therapy assistant should comply with applicable laws and regulation. So this standard requires compliance with laws and regulation, includes complying with the rules set by FS, FSBPT, Federation of State Boards of Physical Therapy. So, which is a strictly illegally shared NPTE question. So, the hospital practice of sharing this question is direct violation of the FSBPT's rules on exam security. So, Andrew and the study group participating to accept the question, also PTA involved, will be violating the ethical standard, which is requires compliance with the legal and regulatory framework by physical therapy practice. So number 6 is pretending I'm the PTA, and I'm using DESC as a prompt guide, and who's the most appropriate person I can speak with. So first is who's the most appropriate person I can speak with or talk with is Mr. Don, because Mr. Don is the one who created the group, or he's the one introduced of the sharing question in the group and is in charge in the study group. So I can tell my concern and clarify my ethical stance, and we can work together to explore alternative study option or solution that comply with the FSBPT's security rules. So I have become aware that the hospital study group for the NPTE involves that sharing of question from previous student who take the NPTE. This question are being complied in study bank for future test taker to use in preparation for the exam, which is I am concerned because I understand the FSBT rules that we can by the rules we cannot share the question from the previous student who take the NPTE, which is also puts me in a comfortable position where I can feel might be engaging in ethical behavior by participating. And I believe it will be best for me to refrain from participating in this practice because I would like to discuss alternative ethical study options that comply with the SPTS with FSBPT guidelines or rules, or to withdraw from the study group. And I know the consequences if I continue participating in this study group. I could be violating professional ethical standards, and it might be negatively impact for my future career and licensure. I'm hoping we can find a solution that maintains that integrity of the NPTE preparation process. It's lined up with ethical and legal standards. Thank you.